Hi guys, I hope I am audible to everyone. So just a quick check, quickly comment in the chat section so that we can start with today's session. I hope I should be audible to everyone. So I suppose you guys have completed your orientation session last week that was held. All those who did not attend it live, at least you have watched the recording now. अगर आपने अभी तक भी SP4 ओरिएंटेशन की रिकॉर्डिंग नहीं देखी है तो प्लीज़ गाइस इट्स अ फर्स्ट स्टेप बिफोर स्टार्टिंग विद अ टेक्निकल डिस्कशन दैट प्लीज़ वॉच योर वीडियोज़ और रिकॉर्डिंग्स ऑन टाइम इन केस यू आर मिसिंग आउट ऑन लाइव क्लासेस. So now we are starting with our first technical discussion chapter. Basically we will be talking about benefits overview and different stakeholder in detail. So make your focus towards the keywords that I will be pointing out. This will help you in memorizing your content. Now first important thing is that अभी हम लोग किसकी बात करेंगे, provision of benefits, because since we are going to understand the different stakeholders involved in benefits provision, this course is not only from pensions perspective, we are going to study about extra benefits as well. So one of the major provider of benefits is state. अगर हम लोग स्टेट के बेनिफिट्स की बात करें कि स्टेट किस तरीके से बेनिफिट्स प्रोवाइड करता है, तो स्टेट डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट भी प्रोवाइड करता है, स्टेट इनडायरेक्ट बेनिफिट प्रोविजन भी करता है. अगर हम लोग डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट्स की बात कर रहे हैं, सो हाउ डज स्टेट प्रोवाइड डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट्स? सो स्टेट कैन ईदर एनकरेज प्रोविजन. Now how does state encourages provisions? How does state make sure that direct benefits are provided? By providing benefits to all. So one way of state providing benefit is direct provision of benefits to all. Now since if you are providing benefits to all, it will be very costly. So another way is that we can have means tested benefits. Means tested benefit means state imposing certain criteria for providing benefits. Now this criteria can be maybe in order to avail the benefits, a particular member has to be the citizen of the country for at least or maybe he or she needs to serve in the job for next 20 years, then only he can avail the benefits. So there can be certain criteria with respect to benefits. और आपको state का benefit लेना है तो your level of income should be less than this particular threshold. So this can be paid based on your level of income, on the maybe based on need or based on citizenship criteria. Okay. So we are basically discussing that one of the most important stakeholder in provision of benefits is state. And how does state provides benefits? State provides benefits via direct provision. How does state provides direct provision? Either by providing benefits to all, but if state is providing benefits to all, that turns out to be very costly on the part of the state. So what other way does state have? State can impose certain criteria while providing benefits. That criteria may be based on the needs of the individuals, that criteria may be based on the income level, that criteria may be based on following certain eligibility criteria. So this is direct benefit provision. Now apart from direct benefit provision, what else state can do? State can educate citizens about the importance of funding for future. कि why do you need to reserve for future? Why you need to make your funds available for retirement? So state can increase awareness. How can state increase awareness? By taking certain education initiatives. Now these education initiatives either state can take or maybe providing disclosure or awareness to citizens regarding the need to save. So this is actually a very important section, although this is your first section of your SP4 chapters, but this is actually tested on multiple times in exam, that how does actually state provide benefits or what is the role of state in provision of benefits. So अभी हमने एक role discuss किया. Now this is the second role, that state is basically providing awareness campaigns, education initiatives. Apart from that, state can do regulation also. So state can either make it compulsory to save for retirement. So compulsory to save for retirement कब होता है? For example, compulsion that if you are working, you need to invest in employer-employee sponsored schemes. Maybe state can impose certain regulation with respect to compulsion of this, or let's say 8.5% of your salary must go to PF. This is also a compulsion initiative. What else apart from this state can do is, state can provide certain tax initiatives for individuals to save. That if you are investing in retirement products, you get some tax advantage, you get certain tax free income if you are investing in these type of products. For example, if you are investing in social security benefit schemes, you get the income from that is exempted from tax, the return from that is exempted from tax. So these are ways of state encouraging initiatives. Apart from directly providing these initiatives or compulsion, state can also regulate bodies providing benefits. For example, if you have any insurance companies providing benefits, so state can regulate them, state can make some laws related to the benefit provision by these particular companies so as to make sure that they are providing flexible benefits, plus at the same time required benefits as per needs. So this is actually a very important section, role of state in benefit provision. So guys, quickly note it down if you want to. Now apart from state, state is one of the major stakeholder involved in benefit provision. Apart from state, we have employers also providing benefits. Now why do employers provide benefits? Maybe as a result of compulsion from state, कि state has made it compulsory like the way we discussed above. Apart from compulsion from state, maybe as a result of encouragement from state, that you need to make your employees satisfied by providing benefits on their behalf. Maybe you want to retain your good quality employees. That is why you are ready to provide retirement benefits for them. Maybe as a result of paternalistic desire towards your employees. So question always comes कि why do employers take positive role in provision of benefits? So maybe employers are providing benefits as a result of paternalistic feeling. Employers are providing benefits as a result of compulsion from state. Employers are providing benefits because they are encouraged by the state. Employers are providing benefits in order to retain their good quality employees, in order to maintain workforce management. So now how do employers provide benefits basically? So either you give benefits which are required, आप retirement benefits दे दो. Another option is you can offer flexible benefits, that those employees who are in need of leaves, they get leaves. Those employees who want retirement protection, they get retirement provision. So that means you are offering benefits that are actually most needful to the employees. So providing benefits that are appropriate to different employees in an organization. Now what is the benefit of this flexible benefits? You get those benefits which you are most appreciative of. So you can appreciate the level of benefits. So employees will actually appreciate benefits. Different benefits can be offered. More flexible on the part of employee. Better able to retain employees because the level of benefits which employees actually want, you are providing them those benefits. Then you have individuals as another stakeholder, कि people are themselves saving for retirement. So this can be majorly compulsion or encouragement from state. So those who are employed, they can invest in schemes, and those who are self-employed, they can approach different companies providing benefits, or they can directly provide benefits for themselves. So you can purchase any pension provision scheme for yourself, or you can approach an insurance company who may guide you on the level of benefits to be provided and which particular scheme you can invest in. Then we have trustees or scheme managers as our another stakeholder. So these are basically involved in management of scheme. They are involved in operation of scheme. They are involved in guiding how assets should be invested. They are involved in guiding on the level of benefits to be paid. Then we have another stakeholder as our financial advisors. So नाम से you can judge, basically they are helping individuals to make best provision of their needs. So basically if you have any financial goal, you can incorporate that financial goal in your savings. You can take help with respect to the level of savings that you need to do today in order to have a safe retirement tomorrow. So these financial advisors will advise on tax planning, These financial advisors can advise on savings or protection products to invest in. They can advise on the level of life assurance or medical policy that you should invest in. So basically they help individuals to meet their financial goals for saving. So actually में this is very easy chapter. इस chapter में कुछ भी नहीं है. This is what this chapter is all about. Different stakeholders. So we first started कि okay, so first important stakeholder who has an important role in provision of benefits is state. So state can either directly provides the benefits. When state provides benefits, what does state do? State take responsibility of benefit provision by either providing benefits to all, or by encouraging certain tax initiatives, or by providing certain education initiatives, or by providing benefits linked to certain eligibility criteria, or by regulating bodies which are providing benefits, or by compelling individuals to save for this. So this is basically indirect way of provision. When you are encouraging them, when you are making compulsory on the part of employer to provide benefits to their employees instead of directly providing, that is an indirect provision by taking certain education and disclosure initiatives. Next comes the role of employer. So why does employer provide benefits? Again, as a result of encouragement from state, as a result of compulsion by state. In order to retain your employees, you provide benefits. And again, the benefits generally are of flexible benefits package that is provided by employer, so as to maintain staff, so as to make sure that you are providing benefits which are appreciated by your staff, and you are providing the benefits which they are in actual need of. Next important stakeholder comes are individuals who can save for retirement by themselves, who can approach different insurance companies, who can guide them on the level of policies to be taken, who can approach different advisors who can then guide them which policies to be taken. So this gives another stakeholder, financial advisors, whose main role is to basically help individuals to maintain their financial goals towards saving, and they advise on the different policies to be taken, different assets to be invested in. Then we have scheme managers who are basically managing the scheme, operating the scheme, making sure that benefits are paid on time, and at the same time the company's assets are not getting liquidated at the time of loss. They are guiding you on the level of investment to be undertaken. So this is what the different stakeholders chapter is. Now let's just do quick questions based on this. Although you don't get a direct long question from this particular topic, but yes, multiple short questions can be tested on benefit provision. So we will be winding up by doing certain questions, and then we will be moving to next set of topic in our next session. So let's start with our questions discussion. For 3 marks, question says, set out the advantages of a state legislating for compulsory private pension provision. So since it's just set out, that too for 3 marks, even if you give me key points with no details, that will work. You have to give details only on the describe, explain question. When the question is clearly mentioning you set out, just mention the quick key points for 3 marks. So 5 minutes for this question, and then we will start discussing. Guys, all those who are done with the answer, just keep putting your answers in the chat section, and we can just then discuss whatever you have done wrong, or which points are right and which are wrong. So question is basically saying that what are the advantages of a state legislating for compulsory private pension? कि अभी we just discussed that basically state can encourage individuals or state can compel, make it compulsory for individuals to save for themselves. So if state is making compulsory, what can be the advantages? So first important advantage, this can help in making sure that adequate pension provision is there. If you are making it compulsory, that helps to just make sure that adequate provision is there, plus burden on state is reduced. And if you are making it compulsory for everyone, so individuals can take advantage of economies of scale by approaching large pension schemes who can provide this pension provisions for every individual, because it's compulsory in entire nation only. Apart from this, state does not have to provide any tax breaks, because individuals are saving compulsory only. So any tax initiatives can be avoided. If tax initiatives are reduced, automatically it helps in reducing cost for the state. Now if cost for the state is reduced, what will happen? State can focus on other important areas like education and healthcare. Instead of focusing on pension, state can focus on education and healthcare. So if people are saving for themselves, it will give a boost to nation only, because burden on state will reduce. We can make sure that pension provision is adequate. We can have large pension schemes with the help of which individuals can take advantage of economies of scale. Tax breaks will be reduced, which will reduce burden on the state, and state can now focus on other important areas like education or healthcare. So anyone else who has mentioned any other point, guys, feel free to comment. Otherwise, let's just quickly move to next question. Okay, next question. Why long-term care provision is not a major problem for state in less developed countries? Why long-term provision is not a major problem for state in less developed countries? I want only valid specific points with respect to question asked. This class is very easy. Abhi, it's not that we have done anything difficult. It's something very general and something very easy that we have discussed. So a quick question, that if a state is operating in a less developed country, so why, and if the state is providing long-term care provision, so why that long-term care provision may not be a major problem in less developed countries? Quick, 2 minutes. Okay, let's discuss now. So why long-term care is not a major problem for state and less developed? Now if a country is less developed, so there are two major characteristics. First, life expectancy is short, and second is fertility rate is generally high. Now if life expectancy is short, that means fewer individuals will reach old age. Now if few individuals reach old age, that means less pressure on state of long-term care. Now if fertility rate is high in less developed, because generally people are not aware of the need to have a optimal fertility rate. So if fertility rate is high in less developed economy, that means more children to take care of elderly, and if there are more children, at the same time there is a culture in less developed economy that instead of being dependent on state, the extended family will take care of the elderly person. So this is how, these are the type of quick questions that we have just discussed that you get in exam. So this is just a quick revision of the benefits overview discussion and different stakeholders. So you are already aware of these stakeholders, it's just that we have discussed with respect to co-reading content which has been provided to us. Now for the next session, what I will be moving upon is, I will be coming to the details of the actual benefit provision with respect to different pension schemes, and from that is the real class, basically from where your SP4 course will begin. So this is just a quick revision of the different stakeholders. So you should be aware of how do employers provide benefits, what are the aims of providing state provision, what are the aims behind employers providing benefits, how do individuals save for themselves, what is the main role of scheme manager, and what are the benefits associated with flexible benefits package. So quick 5-marker question can turn out from this particular topic. Rest, you need not go back to the co-reading of this particular chapter. Just watch your lecture in case you have missed it out live. In case you have attended it live, that's it. You need not worry about any past papers question or going through the content again. As we pace up with the course and we have done sufficient chapters, we will keep on doing questions in the class itself. And I can see that very few students are being live in today's session. So guys, the main reason for keeping it on weekend is so that availability is there for everyone. Now if you guys are not available on weekend also, and weekends are completely packed with other subject classes also, so I can keep it on weekday also and just record it if you guys are not available. And only if limited students are only there, which are also okay with weekday classes also. So do try to attend live, and in case you are missing out of live, please make sure to inform the team so that even we are aware of the attendance. Okay, so we have completed this particular chapter. You can just watch the video in order to revise it again. That's it. So with this, we wrap up today's session, and we will be moving to specifics of different pension schemes from next session onwards. So that's it for the day. Thank you.